Hey, we saw a lot of alarming trends in 2021. So the question is, how will that change the way that you budget in 2022? There's an old saying that says there are two things you can count on in life, death and taxes. And I think that we are about to probably add rising prices to that famous quotation. Hey, we did all see a lot of things in 2021 that we didn't think we would ever see. The question is, will those trends continue into 2022? We're going to give you our thoughts on that. I did a lot of research on exactly how things really did change in 2021. And then stick with us because we are going to give you 7 things that we think that you really need to consider about your budgeting process in 2022. Hey, if you don't know us, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median. Every week we talk about practical frugality on this channel. All right, so in order to discuss what changes we need to make, we need to start with what actually really did happen in 2021.
Hope and I believe that trends that we've seen in 2021 are going to continue on into 2022. It's just like inertia. Things that are set in motion tend to stay in motion. And we believe that this trend will follow suit. So we need to do some things about it. But let's examine what has gone up.
I did some research, and guys, I made you a brand new chart. Somebody last week in the comment section said, boy, it's been a while since we've seen Hope make a chart. So whoever you are, tell me in the comment section that was you that left that comment. And then everybody else can hop on and thank you on that thread, because you can thank whoever that was that I created a brand new chart for you guys to look at. But really, honestly, once I started doing research, this was the easiest way to show you exactly what truly had happened with prices as a result of inflation. So first, let's talk about overall inflation.
Overall inflation is rated at 6.8%.
Now, that doesn't sound so bad, except that historically, the United States has tried to keep inflation between 2 and 3%. So when you look at that, it's like, whoa, that really is quite a bit more. Stacked on top of that is the fact that we have not seen inflation this high since the year that I graduated from high school, which is
1982.
There you go. You guys can do the math and figure out how old I really, really am. Let's take a look at the chart.
She's 29.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a look at the chart, and we'll take a look at exactly what prices have done.
Okay, so this is a percentage change from November 2020 to November 2021. And we see that the highest item of increase on this chart is gasoline. Gasoline is up by 58%. Now, that is going to affect every price because everything in the store has to be transported, and that transportation costs in gasoline.
Yeah, I think when we look at the chart, we have to see these as like dominoes. And that's what you can't look at each individual thing. You've got to look at everything on the chart and realize that the thing in front of it affects the thing behind it, which affects that next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because right after gasoline for cars, we see natural gas is up 50%.
And most of the homes, at least in America, are heated with natural gas. So natural gas goes up. We're also going to see some incurring costs related to that price increase.
Now, here's the thing. In the United States, I'd love to hear from you, those of you overseas, as to how it works over there. But over here, the utility companies are told by government what their upper price is, how much over what they pay that they can charge the customer. But what they can do is increase the charge for actually supplying the electric or the gas. So you're going to see those supply rates, not necessarily the rate that you're paying for the product, but the supply rates. That's how they're going to make up that money, guys, is by charging us much higher supply rates. So regardless of how they do it, here's the truth. Your bills are going to go up. But we actually have a program planned in about 2 weeks where we're going to take you through 10 quick, easy things you can do to lower your utility usage this winter. So with all these things that we bring up, we just want to point this out. This really is the crux of the programming for the next 3 or 4 weeks on the channel, because we took ideas from all of our research and we are providing you with solutions in the next 3 weeks for all of these things we're bringing up in this program.
Yeah, there's no point in bringing up problems if you're not willing to present a solution for them. So, or at least an adjustment. There's things that we can do to adjust to these issues. The next item that we see has increased substantially is used car prices. Used cars have gone up 40%, and it's even very difficult to find used cars because new cars are all being held up due to the chip shortage. So I noticed that too. I was looking for cars, we're not in the market for one right now, but I was looking up used cars and I noticed, wow, they have really gone up in price. The next item, and we won't go into a lot of details, but hotels are up 26%. Beef is up 20%.
I had to look it up. Actually, I knew that beef was up quite a bit because you guys have told me in the comment section. But of course, being vegan, I'm completely and totally unaware of what not only beef costs, but any meat costs. You could ask me, if I could be on a quiz show and I could be told, you will win $500 if you know the cost of beef in your area, and I would still be absolutely clueless. But you guys aren't imagining it. It really is up 20%.
Yeah, furniture is up 13%. And finally, believe it or not, the smallest category is food. It's only up 7%. But somehow I think we're feeling that more than we are some of the other categories because we buy food every week. So that's something we do spend money on very regularly. And of course, obviously the gasoline. So the two items at the extreme ends, I think, are impacting our budgets more than any other one thing here.
But once again, we want you to look at the chart as a set of dominoes with each thing before it affecting the item after it, because it will continue to be like this for at least the next year. And, some people I'm not sure we believe that recovery is ever a thing that we will see in the United States where the prices will go back down to the level that we saw them at 48 months ago.
Yeah.
So now that we've told you we really believe prices will continue to be impacted into 2022, let's take a look at, if we had a crystal ball, what we really think is going to happen in 2022. Let's talk about food prices.
Well, food prices are going to continue to be impacted, and there's so many different factors that are causing that. A lot of it is some of the supply chain issues, obviously gas costs, which we've talked about. So that's one thing. Manufacturers have already announced that new price hikes up to 20% in 2022 are expected.
First quarter of 2022. Some of them have already hiked their prices as of January. Two other areas that we want to mention briefly that we really see being impacted by these price hikes in 2022. One is medication. Now, we know that there are a lot of people in the United States, older people, who live strictly on Social Security. And so price hikes right now in medication up to 10%. In January, the large drug companies in the United States hiked over 600 commonly used drugs in price by about 10%. Now, what they are saying is that this cost it's going to be evened out because there are rebates and there are ways to save on their drugs. But I think we all have to agree. I don't think we believe them. Seriously. So we're going to give you a really quick tip. GoodRx.com. I will leave a link to it in the description of the video. GoodRx is a great website that you can look for lower prices on the drugs that you use. So it works extremely well if you are uninsured or if for some reason you're not going through insurance for that specific drug that you need to take. You will find, for the most part, lower prices using GoodRx. It is absolutely free. They do have a premium level that's $5 per person, $10 for the family, and that's per month. But I'm going to leave a link to it. It works very, very well, and it comes highly recommended. Third area we want to talk about that's going to continue to go up.
Yeah, let's look at natural gas and electric. I want to just read this right off of our list so I get the facts right on this. The U.S. natural gas spot price in Henry Hub, Louisiana, and that's the benchmark price reference for the U.S. natural gas market, and an important reference in global gas trading, averaged $3.07 per million British thermal units in 2021. That is a 51% increase from the 2020 average. According to CNBC, propane users are expected to spend about 54% more, while heating oil users can see bills go up 43%. Electricity bills are only expected to go up 6%, so that's not too bad. But that's according to their findings.
All right, guys, so what's that mean for you? What that means is that y'all need to have some stuff in your back pocket, some ideas and strategies for lowering winter utility bills. And we got you covered, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a video on 10 ways that you can lower your cost of heating your home this winter.
The second item is the supply line issues. And we're all very familiar with the pictures of all the cargo ships sitting out in the ocean, ready to be unloaded, but not able to.
Okay, now we are going to, together, we've not rehearsed this, give you our opinion of whether the supply line is going to be fixed anytime soon. We're going to do it by shaking our head, yes or no. Are you ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. No, we don't think so, and neither do economists.
Another aspect of this that really isn't being talked about very much on the news, you hear it mentioned once in a while, and I'm surprised it's not more of an issue, and that is our national debt. Now, our national debt has just exploded and will continue to do so. We're right now at $29 trillion, and there's a growing rate of about $45 per second.
Okay,
Wow.
Now that doesn't seem like much. You guys hold on to your hats. I did the math. Larry's going to read the math and tell you exactly what that means.
Okay, how does that translate? So $45 per second is $2,700 per minute, or $162,000 per hour, $3,888,000 every 24 hours.
You know what that means, guys? You see the crick? This is up us. We are up the crick without a paddle.
Yeah.
I am telling you, this is like the canary in the coal mine that nobody is talking about. And we want to remind you that this is not all doom and gloom. We're giving you statistics. We're telling you the facts of exactly what things look like. But please do not be worried, because we got your back, and we're going to give you some ideas at the end of the program of exactly what you can do to combat the situation. Hey, as we slide into some suggestions for you, we want to remind you that we would love to hear your comments in the comments section. What we described in the first half of the program, is this indeed what your experience has been in 2021? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. So the big question that looms on everybody's mind is, if that's truly the case of the economy, what should we do?
Well, it's funny. You can't control the world. You can't control the economy. But
Can't control the virus, which shall not be named.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things we can't control, but here's what we can control. We can control our own personal finances, and that is where we have to make the adjustments. So let's start out with the first point, and that is we need to expect a new normal. Things probably aren't going to go back to the way we were living back in 2019, 2018. I don't think we can expect to go back to that. Things may get back there someday, but it isn't going to be anytime real soon.
Guys, flexibility is the name of the game. You have to be prepared in your mind. It's all a mindset thing, right? At this point, you have to prepare your mind for not going to be normal. It's okay that it's not going to be normal. How do I need to change? What do I need to flex on? Got to be flexible.
Yeah, and you need to have a plan B. We've had a plan A for years and years. Now we're going to have to adjust those plans and go to something a little different.
I'll give you an example. When our oldest son was in college, he was working his way through. He had scored some major scholarships, which were helping him on his way through. But we only gave our kids $1,000 a year for college. We paid for books. That was all that we paid for. And so he literally had on paper plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and Plan D. He knew that he had scholarships. He knew how much he could work. He knew what it was going to cost him. He wanted to make sure he could get through without taking any loans. And in order to make that happen, he had plans on paper in place that said, here's what I need to do and here's where I need to flex if stuff hits the fan. That's what we're telling you.
Yeah. And we need to watch for trends. Things that are going a certain direction probably will continue going that direction for a while, and we need to adjust accordingly.
The news is kind of a bummer right now, guys, but don't hide your head in the sand and think, well, I'm just going to cover my head and hope that everything is going to be okay. Not knowing what's happening is honestly not going to help you. The second thing we would love to see you do right now is...
If you have any of this, you need to definitely work on it, and that is pay off your debts. Now's
Seriously.
a good time. Yeah. Now, the sooner you can do that, the better off you'll be. Remember, as one of our former advisors used to say, when you pay off your debt, you're actually giving yourself a raise.
The third thing to do is to adjust your budget. Let's give you some specifics about how we are adjusting our budget in 2022. What are we doing, honey?
Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure it's written down, that you have a recording of it so you can literally look at it on paper. If it's on paper, it's clear, it's tangible, it's something you can work with.
Budget in your head is not a budget, guys. Make sure that it's written down. The second thing you need to do on your budget,
you need to leave margin. That means you leave a little headroom in each category so that other minor adjustments can be made as you go through the year.
this is not the year to budget every single penny that you make just to make ends meet. You have got to have some kind of margin. Now, we understand what it feels like to live low income. We did it for years and years with kids, but we always made sure that we had, even if it was $100 a month or $200 a month, that we knew that if something happened, we could flex, move things around, and continue to survive and continue to pay bills. Build your budget with margin.
Margin will also help you as prices are rising. We can't predict where it's going to rise in certain areas. We can look at the trends from 2021 and see what happened there, but we can't guarantee that we can project that out into 2022.
Here's the other thing we've done with our 2022 budget. We've actually done this for years, so this is nothing new for us, but we suggest you do it too.
You'll want to add 10% to last year's budget into each category. That will be some margin.
Just assume that you're going to need 10% more in every category. What is the worst case scenario? You don't spend the whole 10%, but if you've got that 10% extra built into each budget category, then you're going to be able to sort of ride the waves of the prices going up and maybe not coming back down. I was going to say going up and down, but just the waves, okay?
Yeah. Now, that'll be kind of an anchor against some of that. The fourth thing that we all need to do is stop spending money on things that you don't absolutely need.
Stop spending money.
Or just stop spending money.
There you go. Can we just say that?
Yeah.
We'll just say that.
Okay, we'll say it.
Stop spending money.
You know, we're on YouTube on some other channels like Kate Cadence, for instance. She's doing a no-spend January. Now, that doesn't mean that she's not spending any money in January. It means she's doing a no frivolous spending of money during this entire month. That's going to get her people developed into having this habit of not spending unnecessary money. I think it's a good thing.
Hey, speaking of no spend Januaries, we're going to talk about that on Thursday, guys. On Thursday's video, we're going to tackle no spend Januaries, what our opinion is of them, whether they work, don't work, what the pros and cons are. But yeah, Kate Caden, our good buddy, she is doing a no spend January, and she is having, oh my gosh, they are having so much fun over there. If no spend Januaries are your thing, head to Kate Caden's channel. I'm going to make sure there's a link in the description of this video, and tell her Hope and Larry sent you, will you?
The next major category in making some adjustments here, or in the what to do now category, is establish habits that will support your goals.
Now, why do we say goals? Because really at its heart, a budget is a set of written mini goals. You don't create a budget just to put on paper what you're already spending. You create a budget to put on paper what you want to spend. And you need to build habits into your weekly and daily life that support those goals. Because if you don't, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to reach those goals. It's like deciding you want to lose 20 pounds, which we all do. Amen. Somebody say amen for me. And then you walk around with a jar of peanut butter in your hand all day. Well, what's going to happen? You're going to eat the peanut butter. And are you going to lose weight? Well, no, because none of us lose weight when we're eating peanut butter. Let's be honest, okay? And how do we make sure we establish those habits? We are about to lay on you the one single, solitary, most important thing that we have done for decades that have helped us to reach budget goals.
So how do we do that? Every quarter, we break down our goals into small, easy steps.
Guys, this is a game changer. I'm telling you, we're going to show you an example of exactly how we break goals down. We say exactly what we want our food bill to be in the first quarter. We say exactly what we want our gasoline bills to average in the first quarter. Whatever we actively want to work on, those are the goals, the budget goals that go on the quarterly sheet. And then underneath, 3 to 6 action steps that you promise yourself that you will use in order to reach that goal, and then you hold yourself accountable. What do those action steps want to look like? Well,
they should be quick, they should be easy, repeatable, and measurable.
This one step has changed our ability to be able to stick to the budget and to meet goals. Look, your budget isn't worth the paper that you just wrote it down on if you are going to write it and then set it and forget it and walk away for 12 months, not really knowing exactly how you're doing, what you're spending, if you're even meeting those budget goals or not. If you will break it down to 3-month increments, I promise you, it will help you to stick to that budget and to meet those goals.
Then after you've taken those steps, you need to track your expenses and create a system for evaluating your progress on your budget goals.
Every 90 days, we sit down, we have those action steps, we have the mini goals in front of us, and then we take a look at exactly what we did in those 90 days, and we decide, are we keeping this goal? Are we changing this goal? Are we adding a new goal in? We try to keep it to 3 mini budget goals every 90 days that we're working on. You can do up to 6. You can do as many as you want, as long as you write them down, do those action steps, track it, and then evaluate it once every 90 days. This is the one thing that we honestly believe you must change about your budgeting in 2022 in order to reach those budget goals and to stay on track.
Due to the way that everything is so much in flux, you can't put your budget on autopilot. In other words, you can't just set the controls to try to go to some certain destination and expect it to get there. You're going to have to make mini, micro adjustments, maybe some major adjustments along the way to keep that budget plan on track.
Yeah. You want our set of goals? They're available. There's a link in the description of the video. Hey, a year ago, we did that video right over there. It talks about how to set your goals and set your budget for the new year. Give it a watch.